what I might do is just spend a little bit of time, because people have been asking questions. We've been showing screenshots, but we haven't actually shown Workplace. Now that's generally the way, for the one reason that a lot of people know how this works, because this is what you use. So what I've got up here now isn't, as you can understand, isn't our internal work site in any way, shape or form. This is an example of a demonstration site that we have up and running. And as I said, most things that I'll do is done on a mobile device, because even though it works perfectly on a big screen, the fact is that it is designed first for this device. So one of the first things that I forgot to mention is, I think one of the most important things about this platform is there is a level of awareness and knowledge that is gained by the system in regards to what you like. So it knows who my boss is, it knows who my boss's boss is, it knows who the CEO is, it knows which posts and which groups I actively work in. So my news feed here, which is just as important as the groups that I go in, is an intelligent analysis of all the data that I should see first thing in the morning. Right? So as opposed to simply having a time-based set of all of the activities that have been posted to me, this learns over time what I like, and for that one reason will show me more relevant posts. Or if the CEO posts something, he or she's post will be probably the first in the list. So this is an intelligent feed of all of my corporate information. Okay? Now, this is a demonstration, and unfortunately this demonstration site, we don't really have the time to keep it up to date the way that we would, so there isn't a lot in this feed. But what I did want to show you, if I jump into one of the groups here, so Bright Ideas, what you see here is the richness of posts in the way that people are communicating. So here's Danny talking about the latest best known practices on Workplace. And what you can see is, you can see that this has been seen, at the top you can see seen by 12 people. So I know this has been at least viewed by 12 people. There haven't been any reactions to it. If I go down a little bit further, what you'll see here is this post here, tips for a pilot. Here's a document. It's been seen by a group of people. It has one comment, and if I go in and have a look at the comment, you can see from there the people who have commented on that post. Okay, so the ability to have a rich amount of data is something that you see in droves here. No, there's another post that I want to show you a little bit further down here. So here, what you'll see is it's not just the reaction, it is not just the post itself, it's the emotional reaction that people have. Did people like the post? Did they not like the post? What was their emotional attachment to it? Something that we don't normally get in our corporate lives. So the ability for me to understand and to see here exactly who liked that post. Let me move this down a little bit. Who liked that post? Who thought it was really amazing? Who loved that post? Who didn't like that post? So the ability to associate some level of reaction to a work topic is something relatively new. In addition to that, if I go and look at the comments that have been brought in, the individual comments from other people. Now, if I wanted to, I can comment on a comment. And so in commenting on a comment here, it will then layer and tier out all of the comments. So I don't need to, like in a group email, try and work out what conversation or what question that person was responding to in a group. I'm actually able to see it in real time in a threaded post. So one or two examples there. In addition to that, if I look, it'll give me an understanding of suggested groups that potentially I might want to be made aware of for the other reason, for the one reason that other people in my team, other people in my area of the company might have actually been interested in that group. So potentially it might be some way for me to surface information which is of interest to me. So just a couple of ideas here in regards to how Workplace itself is used and how well really this looks like on a mobile device. The ability for me to consume all of my business information through this screen is really quite second to none in regards to the user experience that you can get. Okay. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show just briefly before we finish up is down here. This is a demonstration of that same environment on a big screen. It's the exact same thing that you're seeing second time round, right? Fox Fabrics is the demonstration that we give. What I wanted to show you was the company dashboard. So this is where the administrator is able to administer the system. So Will's already gone into a lot of detail here in regards to integrations and the like. This environment shows you that we've got a lot of bots that are installed on this demonstration environment. This is how an administrator would go in and install add-on systems into the platform. But more importantly, I think for this group right now is looking at the reporting. So if I go here, pardon me, no, that's not the one I'm reporting here. So how active are people in their workplace environment? This is probably the second question that gets asked after people have really started to utilise the platform is how do I monitor and measure my return on investment? How do I, if my goal is to ensure that my company is more open and connected or that I'm breaking down silos, how do I know that? Now what we've provided is a relatively basic set of reporting structures that I'll go through, but there are third parties that are doing some really amazing deep analysis of our platform as we spoke about earlier. I can show, for example, with one of our partners that across a company of 6 different departments that runs across 4 different countries, that this department in this country has never spoken with that department in another country. And through the use of Workplace, over a period of 6 months, you can see how people start communicating with people in different departments. So utilising those kinds of engagement tools or sentiment analysis tools, you can see the openness of communication happening. Now what we're providing at this stage is relatively basic. So this will show you the amount of weekly active people, the amount of mobile active people, okay? Who's using this on a daily basis and how are they using it? How completed are people's profiles? How much are they keeping this information up to date? How many people within your company have claimed their accounts? How many groups have been created? How many people are posting? And we'll give you a gauge based off an anonymised data set that we have across all of our users, how you rate compared to other companies. So this gauge here gives you a moving average based off the levels of engagement for the amount of people in the company. It's not done on an industry basis, but it gives you a view of what is a level of engagement, okay? The next thing that I wanted to show you was very quickly in regards to people. This is really quite interesting in regards to who has claimed their Workplace account. You know, across all of my departments, how have they claimed? Do I need to boost claims to try and get them on this platform? Because as we'll before, as Bill mentioned, you know, a company of 2 or 3 or even 1 person trying to communicate with only one other person doesn't really drive engagement. The main thing here is getting stakeholder buy-in from your C-levels and being able to have the entire company on the platform. Who are the main contributors within the platform? What does that look like and what are they contributing to? Who has certain components installed, mobile applications, etc. You get to see in real time what that looks like. What I think is the most important though is when I go to content posting and I can see here exactly who's posting and who's reacting to posts. So for us, this is a very basic set of reporting measurements, but it gives a lot of companies the basis for what we're doing. And again, this is still very early days for us, and we've got a lot of other companies that have got a lot more intelligence than we do in this area that are doing some really deep analytics on the platform. So that's the reporting part, not in a significant amount of detail. What I find the most important for me is I actually use this brand new, it's still in beta, notifications portal. So the notifications portal will give me a heck of a lot of information in regards to the notifications that are relevant to me, people who have mentioned me in posts. So as opposed to needing to know everything in every single group, who is actively communicating with me. So they've mentioned me, they've responded to a post of mine, they're commenting on, someone's commenting on a post, so I can actually see the notifications that are relevant to me. So the way I look at this is this gives me the ability to filter the noise. Within my company, one of the biggest problems is the signal to noise ratio is so high, you don't know what's important to you. And that is typified with group emails when you've got more than 10 people on an email. The signal to noise ratio is so high, you simply can't process all of the information that's relevant to you. So how do I filter that down to really what is just relevant to me? Personally, I use notifications. The other one that I wanted to speak about very quickly is the difference that you see in the group structure, in the delivery of posts. So if I go down here and show you Workplace Team, okay, this is effectively the exact same thing that you saw on the mobile. I mean, the reality is you have the same experience irrespective of the platform that you're using, be it mobile or be it big screen. You really do have a very structured view of all of the data. Okay, so as you saw, it worked the exact same. I was in this group before. It works the exact same on the big screen as the small screen. Finally, the last one that I want to show you, which is something that we've only just recently brought out, which is the organisational tool. This was actually the first third-party bot that was built by one of our partners, and we told our partner that for us, this is the early days of what we're doing, and we're going to bring out a lot of these features ourselves. They still found it valuable to bring out a bot, and within a 2-month period afterwards, we brought out this, which is just simply what does the organisational structure look like from me up to the CEO. Now, surprisingly, all of these people are real people. Their names have been changed, but this is myself and this is my management structure within Facebook, all the way up to Julian, who is the vice president of Workplace. He is the effective CEO of our area of the company. But if I click on Julian, I can see Julian's entire team. If I click on someone within Julian's team, I can see their team. So these, as we move forward, and as this is a SaaS-based solution, you're just seeing features being added. So we get companies, and one question that hasn't been asked here, which we get all the time, which is, well, how much notice am I going to get of new features being announced on the platform? Am I going to be able to agree that I want them or not? And the reality is that's not the way that cloud-based SaaS solutions work. If you want to lock down your environment to ensure that the static instance of your communication platform is what it was at day one is going to be the same 5 years later, definitely Workplace is not for you, because we add features all the time. This is a growing product, as is all the other SaaS-based solutions that you generally use in the market. So organisational tool came along about 4 months ago and was simply turned on. So if you want to have a static service, so you don't want to have new features added, trust me, Workplace definitely isn't for you. And you're going to have challenges with that. I can see a very confused look there. Do you have a question? So do you understand what I mean there? Which is, as this is a global service that's used by millions of people around the world, it isn't a single version for you, which never changes. We're constantly developing. We've got about 6,000 developers within Facebook that are writing the main code base that's used by you within your consumer life, facebook.com. We take that code base within Workplace and we tweak it and we add to it where we need enterprise services for enterprise and business customers. But we inherit a lot of the features that come across. So for that one reason, when we're ready to release a feature, we will turn that feature on and it'll be available for all users. And even more so, we do a thing called A/B testing. How many people in the room know what A/B testing is? Oh, or you're shy. A/B testing means that we will have, let's say, we have 1.1 billion active users on a daily basis within Facebook, and we will say 0.003% of those people will get the site that looks like this, and the rest of them will get the original. So we'll do a test. We might change the color of the background. We might change the size of the font or the logo for Facebook. And 500,000 people will get that. And we'll see whether or not they actually use the product more. So we'll do an A/B testing. So what I'd even say, even more so, is using this solution, occasionally we will do A/B testing within your organisation. We might change something small on one person's screen, but the rest of your company doesn't see it. Now, 5 years ago, no one would ever accept that. Everyone in my company has to see the platform in the exact same way. Well, that's not the way we work, and we're very, very comfortable with that because we want to test what works best. So if we do a test and find out that 80% of people utilise that feature a lot more, then we'll roll it out to be the standard feature and the standard way that we actually deliver that service. Okay? So as this is a very large global SaaS offering, we do change the way that you do your business. So in addition to the organisational change that comes from using the tool, we're helping teach companies that there are different ways to actually use services and software within their organisations. So the org chart tool was one great example of that when it came along and was turned on a couple of months ago. Now, that is about all I think I had there, and we are at 5:30. So thank you all very much. I know it's very time-consuming to invest this much time. I really do personally appreciate it and respect it. We are here to answer any questions. As I said, this is the first time that Facebook Workplace and Symprio have run an event in KL for the Malaysian audience. It is the first of many that we plan on running. We do thank you all for coming. And really, if there are any questions that we can help you with, or if there are any discussions that you want to have, or if you want a trial workplace, really feel free to reach out to us afterwards. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And again, under NDA, we can talk about a wider group of companies that are using the platform more in region, and would be more than happy to have a broader conversation. But again, primarily, I wanted to thank Will and the team. Thank you all so much for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to speak with you all today, and have a great afternoon. Thank you all so much.